mean, I don't know like if it can be overstated at this point, like especially assuming you know follow news at all, like with the Scrimeti ruling yesterday being so heartbreaking and taking healthcare options away from so many trans kids throughout the country. And granted, kids Daisy's age are not mostly accessing any kind of healthcare things, but as a parent, especially when your child first transitions, it's like, oh my God, what does this mean? You go and you Google, and it's like, oh, I need to find out how to support them, how to do this. And even if you don't access any kind of healthcare for 6 or 10 or maybe ever years, the fact that it might not be available, I like the
Right.
fear of that is so very real. And I think that the invalidation inherent in that, telling us these kids don't know or don't understand or don't need, and it's, you know, when you're surrounded by that in the real world, day in and day out, even with, you know, newspaper outlets or, you know, news outlets or whatever that are progressive or liberal saying, oh, we're asking for too much, or these, you know,
Right.
these kids are too little. Again, like it keeps going back to invalidating these children.
Mhm.
And it's so heartbreaking. And so having a book, sorry, to go back to, that is affirming of not just the child's journey and identity, but also like how to be an affirming person without having to kind of hedge because that's what the world is telling you to do, or, you know, to doubt your child because that's what everyone is like, that's what the media conscience is kind of saying.
Right.
Is so important. And I think that there's one thing to have books for adults, but again, having a read aloud book, having a picture book that can be on display at a library, that can be picked up by any adult, that is read with the child. So the child is hearing these words coming from the adult that they're reading it with.
Mhm.
Um, and that the adult then has these phrases to go back to of, I hear
Right.
you, I see you, I validate you. Um, you know, I think is just such important literature to have out there right now.